Hey guys, what's going on? Nevins here. Time for your weekly rock windup. Well, did you know that there is a Bond Fest every year in Scotland, representing, or I should say, recognizing the late frontman for AC/DC, Bon Scott? Well, this year they're going to roll out a statue that is roughly almost 8 feet tall, which is a lot bigger than what Bond was. But I guess they've been doing this thing for quite a while in Kirriemuir, Scotland, and so they're going to roll that out at the Bells Bray Car Park in April for Bond Fest. Well, chalk this one to something I never thought I would hear ever in my life. I've heard of people painting with their own blood, but it looks like Gary Holt at NAMM this year rolled out his very own blood guitar, painted with 18 vials of his own blood. Gary Holt, of course, is shredded for Exodus and Slayer, so that's all I got. Well, much to many people's chagrin, Deep Purple finally going to be getting the induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame later on this year. It was announced this week that Lars Ulrich, the drummer from Metallica, going to be inducting those guys. Deep Purple will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Cheap Trick, N.W.A, Chicago, and Steve Miller. HBO will be broadcasting it in the springtime. And close out your weekly rock windup with just some new music and whatnots, if you will. Post-Pop Depression Tour will fire up in March on the 28th in Seattle. Of course, that is Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age and Iggy Pop of the Stooges. As of now, no stops planned for Kansas City. Closest it looks like it's going to be is April 6th in Chicago at the Chicago Theater. UK-based slots developer Pinball Slot Machine Games, Spike Games, is creating a new one based on the Alice Cooper song School's Out, so if you like slot machines, be on the lookout for that. Vextius is going to be rolled out from Candlebox in the first part of February, and they're going to start doing pre-orders for their new album, Disappearing in Airports. If you remember Candlebox, they were pretty big in the 90s. Melvins just have announced the release of their long-delayed album, 3 Men and a Baby. That'll happen April 1st via Sub Pop Records. First single is out now, Chicken and Dump. Hell Yeah has got a concert DVD that's that's looking to be rolled out later on in the springtime, I believe. We're all in this together, and it looks like those guys also working on a new album, again in the studio with Kevin Churko as their producer. He did 2014's Blood for Blood. And New Orleans sludge metal veterans Crowbar are going to enter the studio in February to work on their follow-up to 2014's Cemetery in Black. A summer release is expected. I'm sure Fritz will have something from that to spin in the pit. I'm Nevins. Thank you very much for tuning into your weekly rock windup. Have a great weekend. It's supposed to be gorgeous, and